Good morning, T-Bird talking to you. Thank you for joining us this Sunday for Adult Formation. Hope you are enjoying these videos. I appreciate you tuning in and watching. This week we're going to ponder the question, why are we here? I have asked that question. I'm sure you have asked that question. Everybody more than likely has asked that question, and as many people that has asked that question, we have as many answers. Everybody has their own theology, beliefs, as far as why we are here. Now, I heard probably the best explanation I have ever heard, and I couldn't say it any better, recently while watching an episode of MASH. Now, I'm 49 years old. Those of you my age or around my age, I'm sure are familiar with the TV series MASH. It ran for about 10 or 11 seasons through the 70s. I believe it shut down in the early 80s, but very popular show. And I love it. My wife and I were watching it the other night. And Father Mulcahy, who plays the role of the company chaplain, played by William Christopher, gives his theology on why we're here. And it is I couldn't say it any better. I don't know anybody that can say it better. I had the video. I'm going to play it. I just want to give you a little background of the episode. I didn't want to play the whole episode. Just wanted to give you a little background, and then we'll cut right to Father Mulcahy and let him close us out with his theory or explanation of why we're here. In the episode, Father Mulcahy is full of anxiety. He's nervous. He's driving himself crazy over the anticipated visit from his boss, the cardinal. And we've all been there. The big boss is coming. We're all running around. We're yelling at people. We're putting all these high expectations, unreasonable tasks on folks to clean this up, stack this, put this over there, tell those people to stop doing that. We're not going to do anything we normally do. We need to do something totally different because the boss is coming, right? And so that's exactly what Father Mulcahy is doing. He's running around. He's making himself miserable. He's making everybody else miserable. And he kind of loses himself. He kind of loses what his purpose and mission is by trying to gain appraisal and a pat on the back from his boss and supervisor. While at the same time that's going on, two soldiers come in wounded. One of them's played by Patrick Swayze. I didn't realize Patrick Swayze had played an episode on MASH, but Patrick Swayze is wounded, not too bad, but his friend is really bad off. In fact, his friend is unconscious, and Patrick Swayze, although he's pretty much recovered, is sitting there by his friend's side, and he wants to be there, and he's made it known that he wants to continue to be there until his friend wakes up, receives consciousness, and he can be there to show him his support. And it is determined kind of by accident that Patrick Swayze, who wanted to volunteer to give some blood to his friend, has leukemia. And if you can imagine being diagnosed with leukemia in 1952-53, that pretty much was a death sentence. Medical science has advanced a lot. Thanks be to God for that. But back then it was pretty much a death sentence. So Alan Alda, the actor, plays Captain Benjamin Pierce. He has to come to Patrick Swayze and tell him, man, we need to get you to Tokyo General right now. You have leukemia. We've done some blood tests, and they need to get you on a treatment right now. There's hope. There's hope. And Patrick Swayze doesn't even think about it. He says no. He says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here by my friend's side. He needs me. And when he wakes up, he's going to see that I'm here. I'm supporting him. I'm encouraging him. And I'm needed here. So what a total selfless act to put his friend before his own needs. He's told pretty much he's dying and going to die. And he's chosen to spend his time serving others, serving his friend. And Father Mulcahy, of course, witnesses all this. And he actually reports to a Sunday morning church service in his robe because he's been up all night providing chaplain services to those that were in need. And that gives you a little background of what's going on. Father Mulcahy running around stressing out about the impending visit, and the cardinal gets there and he's just all up in knots. He's made everybody and himself miserable, but at the same time he's witnessing Patrick Swayze in a very selfless act, after being told that he has this disease, which is fatal, going to kill him, he's chosen not to go seek treatment, not to go seek help, but to stay there to support his friend. And so I think it's a beautiful explanation, and I'm going to play it for you. But before I do, I just want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you and your family are staying safe, staying healthy, and we appreciate you, and thanks be to God for you. And without further ado, let's go to Father Mulcahy. Thank you.
Once again, let me say how nice it is to see you all here for this special service honoring His Eminence Cardinal Reardon. Speaking of services, here's our own beloved Father Mulcahy.
Good morning. Well, here we are. It's Sunday again. I'm sure you've all come expecting to hear a sermon. Well, I have to admit, I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be. In fact, I'm not even dressed as I'd like to be. You see, I was working on my sermon, which I hoped would be a particularly inspirational one in honor of Cardinal Reardon. But I was called away, and, well, to be honest, I never got back to it. So, if you'll just bear with me, I'd like to share with you the reason why. I want to tell you about two men, each facing his own crisis. The first man you know rather well. The second is a patient here. Well, the first man thought he was facing a crisis. But what he was really doing was trying to impress someone. He was looking for recognition, encouragement, a pat on the back. And whenever that recognition seemed threatened, he reacted rather childishly. Blamed everyone for his problems but himself, because he was thinking only of himself. But the second man was confronted by the greatest crisis mortal man can face: the loss of his life. I think you'll agree that the second man had every right to be selfish. But instead, he chose to think not of himself, but of a brother. A brother. And when the first man saw the dignity and the selflessness of the second man, he realized how petty and selfish he... I had been. It made me see something more clearly than I've ever seen it before. God didn't put us here for that pat on the back. He created us so he could be here himself, so that he could exist in the lives of those he created in his image. Well, I know you didn't come here to listen to me. It gives me great pleasure to introduce His Eminence, Cardinal Reardon.